Hello and welcome to the 2567th Ergo Dev Update. I am QX, and with me we have a very, very special guest today, MHS Sam. How you doing today?
Thank you, QX. Hello, everyone. I'm very glad to be here with you for the first time. Very exciting. These moments are very exciting, actually, and let's do it.
All right. So MHS. Should we call you MHS? Should we call you Sam? Should we call you MHS Sam?
I'm okay with all of them.
With all of them. All right. Sounds good. I think I'll stick
Sam
with
is
MHS.
okay. Sam is enough and okay.
Sam's perfect.
Yeah,
all
Sam is enough and okay.
Perfect. All right, Sam. So for those people that don't know that are watching, you are involved in quite a few things in the ecosystem, and you not only have yourself, but you have a team that works with you. Can you talk a little bit about you, how you interact with your team, what you guys build, and what you've dipped your fingers in, kind of thing?
Yeah. So it has been a very long journey. It's been about 4 years, actually. I've started with a very small team, voluntary, to work on Ergo before the mainnet, in order to actually implement the missing parts of mining tools. Then we get more involved in the ecosystem after the launch, actually after the mainnet launch. And I felt in love with Ergo after a few months. I should be honest, at the first I was not in love, but
what made you not in love with it? What was the pain part there?
At the beginning, I wasn't very involved with the tech and the documentation. I was thinking about it as a project. So I just learned about the mining algorithm and the stuff that I'm working on, regardless of other stuff in the ecosystem, actually, and the white paper, who is Kushti, who is the stuff around Ergo. But after I get involved with this stuff and learned about the white paper, I read the white paper maybe 2 months after the launch. And when I saw that, I was shocked, actually, because it was different. It was really different. So I somehow quit my job for that. Yeah.
Wow.
And get fully involved in the Ergo and its mission. And then I met Alex, and we have a lot of talks, and we then started a project that maybe a lot of Ergonauts do not remember. It was Ergo Pool. If you are old enough in the Ergo ecosystem, you should know that Ergo was not outsourceable, the mining of Ergo. And there was no pool allowed. So we were doing some smart contract tricks in order to allow people to outsource mining. And
so you're saying Ergo started off with just individual miners, and that's all you could do?
Yeah. So I gathered a bigger team, actually, to start working on this, and hopefully, or maybe not, we delivered the project, but it was around the times that we find out that the mining algorithm has some bugs, and it allows some kind of turnaround in order to mine faster. And And the community actually decided at that moment to do the hard fork and allow mining pools to enter the ecosystem. So it's actually a dead project, but I can remember that a lot of projects after that actually use the stuff that we have built and put them up open source actually in order to learn about Ergo, in order to learn about how to code. And it was a very good maybe class for us and our team to get involved in all aspects of Ergo. And to some degree, my team was the very first people that start developing on Ergo. And yeah, that's because of that project, actually. It didn't go well, but the result was awesome.
Well, that's the beauty of Ergo, right? There are all these frameworks of maybe there are a couple potentially projects that never made it through, but there are these frameworks that people can pick up on and kick the can down the road and build something else based on top of that. So even if you don't take anything to its fruition, you've still left something that somebody else can pick up and go with, which is awesome.
Exactly. That's the beauty of Ergo and the spirit of open source development.
So what are the main projects your team's working on right now besides the big one? Let's leave the big one aside for a second. What are the other projects your teams are working on?
It's Minotaur Wallet, and we are working on Minotaur from time to time based on the requirement of the ecosystem. So the Minotaur Wallet actually started as a project when there was no wallet except a Euro in the ecosystem, and we felt it's needed. But a great mind like Memo came and delivered actually a very good actually wallet. So we slowed down the implementation, and we start implementing multi-sig, for example, multi-sig stuff and code signing, some stuff that it's somehow more advanced for user and it's not for daily use.
So Minotaur started out as just a basic wallet, no multi-sig.
Yeah, it was meant. We meant it to be something like Nautilus with that connector, a replacement for Euro actually. But after Euro came out, we decided to change the direction of the direction that we are going, and we put our time on multi-sig because multi-sig was something that was missing.
Is Minotaur the only way for people to use a GUI to interact with multi-sig contracts, correct? Is that what I understand? There's no other user interface to be able to do that for a non-code, non-dev person?
As far as I know, yes.
Very cool.
You can somehow use Node, and we are using somehow the Node implementation in Minotaur. So it's nothing new. But the GUI, it's the only way, I guess.
And it is. Sorry, go for it. Keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So Minotaur is somehow being developed and improved based on demand, and the current demand is multi-sig. EF Treasury has moved to Minotaur and multi-sig,
Sigmanauts as well.
Sigmanauts as well, and after that we now we have a lot of users actually, and maybe to some degree Minotaur is a big wallet now, and its security is a very important matter that we should work on. And we have worked about its UX and UI. We have some better UI because if you have worked with Minotaur, you already know that it's not a good wallet in regarding the UX and UI. We have developed a new UI for it maybe 1 year ago, and we don't have time to put them together. Now, after the Rosen launch, we will finish the stuff, and Minotaur will have a new look. That's one of the projects, actually. So the other one is Ergo Raffle, and I'm sure you have used it before. Raffle was a fun project for me. In order to hire new devs, we decided we have to use a project to test them and qualify actually new devs in order to get involved with our team. So, and we have started the design, and the new team implemented the very first iterations of it, and it was a winner in one of the Ergo hacks. I don't remember which one. And after that, we have during some iterations, it became the Ergo Raffle of now, which is I guess it's a unique type of crowdfunding in the Ergo ecosystem, and I pretty much love it. And I guess one of the biggest dApps after Rosen will be Ergo Raffle, and I have some plans for it.
Do you think you're going to develop a way for the lister to be able to cancel the auction?
Why?
It's a very difficult to do. Well,
no,
you have.
It's not difficult, actually.
Let's say MG Pi just put up his Ergo Raffle for the Ergo coin that he teamed up with somebody that makes physical gold coins. So he put up that raffle, but he missed out some things that he'd like to add. So he kind of had to link to a separate page and update that page as well. So there are some tweaks that he wanted to do after it was posted. And he was like, should I just make a second auction? And then he's like, no, that'll be too confusing, kind of thing. So he just let it ride and then answered all the questions he could on Twitter and in chat. So it'd be nice at that case for him to be able to just nuke the auction and then bring up another one as far as that goes.
Okay, somehow it's not a bad feature. You can look it as a bug or a feature, but it's not bad because no one has any control over it.
Yeah, in that spirit, that is nice.
So it's your job to convince people not to donate that, and it's your job to convince people to donate that. There are a lot of improvement proposals regarding Ergo Raffle, and we have considered a lot of them, and we have designed and somehow implemented some of them. They are not public yet, in a few weeks after launch, I will put some more work actually on delivering the Ergo Raffle V2 with a lot of amazing features, and some features like being able to cancel before it ends. We can consider some of them. I don't like that, but we can consider, and we can have community feedback on that. But the most important actually feature of Raffle V2 would be having multiple winners with different shares, and having any token to actually crowdfund. So we can crowdfund any token. Say RSADA.
That's almost like a very it's almost like a very lightweight Paideia in that aspect, where a group can get together and fundraise for something and automatically disperse tokens to different members or different projects all at once in one shot. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I can look at it like the open community catalyst of Ergo with rewards.
That is neat.
Yeah.
Should we dive right into Rosen? Or you got another project up your sleeve you can talk about?
There are a few smaller ones, but I guess that's enough.
All right, sounds good. All right, so we got the big guy Rosen coming up. We've got guards that are spun up. We've got watchers. It looks like we're up to 30-some watchers. Today is Friday morning Eastern time, which is what, like 1400 UTC. We've got about 30 watchers for Ergo spun up. We've got about, like 15 watchers or almost 20 maybe for Cardano, whatever that count is. Close to that. Yeah, it's getting up there. Yeah. And we've got enough guards, right, for our initial consensus there spun up as well. I think you just pushed an update this morning, right, to the guards that we need to update as well. A little update on how it sees a peer-to-peer network. So how I'm not going to ask when, okay, but let's go into some more technical thing for people that may have questions. So One of the questions that I see popping up, let me start off by saying I think it's really cool that you're getting. This is not a .exe file or a .sh file or a .app file that somebody on a computer can just double click, spin up a watcher. So I think it's really awesome that you're getting these non-technical people. You put out about 14 videos in a playlist. You put out some good documentation. MGPie's come out with some documentation. Other people have offered to help out as well. The Rosen channel's full of everybody helping, which is absolutely amazing. But the cool thing is you're getting these non-devs to actually spin up maybe an Ubuntu VPS or download Docker for Windows and open up PowerShell and type in some commands and install Git, which I think is really damn cool that you're getting people kind of involved in the root of that. And then once that's done, of course, you can access a very beautiful dashboard on your web page that's running on your computer to see how your watcher is doing, to lock up your tokens, to buy more reporting permits. So I think that's really cool that you're getting the non-technical people to be able to do this semi-technical stuff with that kind of thing. But on to the question. The first question that pops up recently in chat yesterday and today is when somebody makes let's say somebody goes from Cardano to Ergo, watchers are picking that up on Cardano, correct? And they're reporting it onto are they reporting it in Cardano or they report it back to Ergo chain? Where do they make the report?
Ergo.
So
everything is on Ergo.
So Cardano watchers watch Cardano and then they report it to Ergo. Ergo watchers watch Ergo and report it to Ergo as well to be able to move to Cardano. Exactly. So when the watchers make a report on the Ergo side from Cardano, they're watching Cardano, they report on Ergo. The guards then look for that thing, the report that the watchers did. The Ergo watchers have nothing to do with the reports that the Cardano watchers put on Ergo. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So when we go from Cardano to Ergo, the Cardano watchers are the one receiving the reward for that report.
Exactly.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That is cool. So we're looking at a $10 minimum fee or a certain percentage of the total fee. What's that percentage?
0.5.
And how'd you come up with that? What ultimate wisdom made you guys sit down and think we need a minimum fee and we're going to have a percentage above that minimum fee?
Okay. You started with the hardest question. Okay, fair enough.
I mean, ultimately, Joe has a list of all, the exchanges, the central exchanges that have given him price quotes. So you know what they're charging, at least for initial listings. So you have that data there. You also probably want to, I heard you mention that you want to combat spam as well on the chain, as well on the
Okay.
bridge. But go
Yes.
for it. Take it from here, sir.
Yeah. Let me take it from the last question about reporting on Ergo and
Oh, sure.
Cardano. Yeah. So you said it right. You can look at it like the guards are sitting in a room in an apartment with closed doors and closed windows. So they don't care about the outside.
So like any political office appointee, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Big bankers. Yeah. And the watcher are still in the home, in this apartment, but they are looking through the window to the outside world. And if something happens in the LA, they will report in the apartment, in the room, in the apartment. And after they have a consensus on the report, they will knock the door of the guards and will hand them a report. Now the guards can verify and will go to verify what actually happened. And after verifying that, they do the required actions. So they do not actively watching all the networks. And because of that, as you said, all the stuff, all the logic is happening on Ergo, all the reporting or the locking, permits, every technical stuff that you have is going on Ergo. But a watcher can choose a network to watch, and it's like an oracle. It goes and see that network and will report everything on Ergo. All the actions actually are on Ergo. And but it has great benefits. And it's not time to elaborate on that, but in Dubai and Turkey, I have a presentation about why we chose this approach and how it helps Rosen to scale with linear complexity. It's actually the most important feature of Rosen is that it can scale with linear complexity. And after lunch, when I have some spare time, I will do this presentation, and we'll put it on YouTube. Okay. So regarding the fees, there are lots of ways to answer that question, and still cannot justify the numbers. But one way to look at it is that if the fee is very low, there would be no incentive for watchers and guards, because we are not a central party that manage everything like a lot of bridges and take every fee, and every fee counts. And we get rich by this fee, even if they are very low. It's a decentralized network, and it should have some incentive for the participants in order to be secure and functional. In the other hand, there are some users that are paying these fees. Okay, so they like the fees to be as low as possible. So we should find a balance between these incentives to keep the network going and keep it secure and profitable for the participant, and for the user to use it. So we should have an equilibrium here, and somehow we find out, maybe by heuristic, we did a lot of analysis. I'm not talking about financial and AI and very technical analysis here, but we had a lot of discussions with different guys, and we finally reached the moment that without 0.5 is somehow in between. So it's looks very high or somehow high to users, but not very, very high. And it seems low to watchers and guards. So it can be one of the points that the equilibrium can actually happen. So we can go with these numbers, and as you know, and Joe said a lot of time, these numbers are adjustable, and we have some plans, for example, in order to have some discounts. So, for example, I'm not promising anything here. They are just examples. We can came out with other ideas later. But one of the ideas is that some projects, by locking some RSN with their own token in a liquidity pool, if they do that, we can give them some discount. Actually, they do this for the community. They increase the liquidity. It's good for the community. It increased the incentive of using the bridge, because there may be some arbitrage, profitable arbitrage between networks. And another benefit for their community is that they can have the bridge with lower fees. So
are you saying that if a community token wants to lock up their token in the bridge a certain amount, then there'll be a discount for its users traveling across the bridge in that token?
And not locking in the bridge, locking in the
like Spectrum liquidity pool.
Yeah, I expect, for example, a Spectrum on Ergo, and on Cardano we have several options, including the Spectrum, the best days. Yeah. So and a few other options. For example, we can, there are different coins in the ecosystem. For example, there are stable coins, meme coins. It's something adjustable in order to decrease and increase the fees, even the minimum fee of each token. But it's not in our control after the launch. It's in the control of the guards.
The guards, yeah. Okay.
So we have set a few parameters in the system to bootstrap the system. And I don't say that we don't have any influence on the results of guards. Yeah, sure, we do. But the keys are in the hand of guards, so it's them that they should agree on these changes and change the fees. So as we go ahead, we can change these numbers as community demand or guard demand or watcher demands.
And is there a limit, kind of off of the guards question, now there's a watcher limit, right? As far as, not a limit on how many watchers, but there's a limit on how many reporting a watcher can do depending on how many reports they have, reporting ability. So for every 3,000 Rosen that get added to the watcher's lock, they can do an additional report. Is there a limit to that on the guards? Are the guards going to be slowed by a massive influx of multiple chains, or can a guard approve something in concert or in parallel with another thing? So can a guard be actively involved in approving many different things at once, or does it have to wait for something to pass before another thing happens?
Very good question. Somehow yes, somehow not. No. There's no technical limitation on the number of events that a guard or the guards can process. But we have cold storage and hot storage in Rosen. So as long as there's enough tokens in the hot wallet, the guards can continue the settlement on that network. But if the actually there is a, for example, there is a huge transaction that we don't have enough, or there is a lot of demand on some token to be transferred, and there is not enough in the hot wallet. The guards should slow this thing down and go to their cold wallet, sign a transaction in order to transfer from the cold to hot and continue working. So there's no actually technical limitation here. It's the limitation of how much asset do we have and
so in that case, would the
how much is
guards pause all operations until that last transaction? Is it first in, first out? Would the guards pause until that big one is done, or would it do little transactions in the meantime?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how it works. Yeah.
Very cool. So nobody can clog the whole thing on purpose that way. That's nice.
Exactly.
Do you have are you going to have some sort of dash on Rosen? Maybe you already do. I haven't checked out Rosen Tech in a while. Are you going to have some dash on the bridge that shows here's how many tokens are in the hot wallet of each chain that we're serving so that people can have a visual there? Or is that something that you'd rather keep private?
It should be visible actually to the public, but it's maybe the lack of time and it's, you know, if I say wait 2 more weeks till I put it up, what will happen in Ergo? Okay, so yeah, there are a few bugs in the calculation of with the dash in order to show their stuff, because you know in Ergo we are minting all the tokens at once. So there would be 45 billion ADA, RS ADA on Ergo. And some of them are in a specific multi-sig wallet, some of them are in the hot wallet, some of them are in the hand of users. And yeah, it's completely maybe obvious for Ergo users that how it works, and but to some degree maybe weird for some outside viewers. So yeah, we have a dash, we have a section in the dashboard that shows the asset, but we will not open it till a few weeks after launch. But still, it's possible for people to see the assets in the hot wallet, in the cold wallet, and in the circulation. So it's not very hard to verify by hand, but when you are putting some automation, there would be some very small miscalculation and bugs that will result disaster. So we chose to put that offline till a few weeks after launch.
Okay. All right. So before we dive into the dev update here, I have one more question for you. And this is a softball question, but I want to hear you talk about it. As a dev who's developed some crazy stuff that's, you know, fairly complex, what about Rosen Bridge? Rosen Bread. What about Rosen Bridge impresses you? What technical aspect of Rosen Bridge makes you think, I can't believe we got that right. I can't believe we're functioning and this is working, that kind of thing. Is there something in Rosen that makes you feel that way? Maybe it's a social thing, maybe it's an idea, or maybe it's, you know, like actual code that you wrote. Are you not impressed much?
Yeah, why not? It's the hardest question that you could have asked. So,
let me start. I'll start with my thing. What I'm impressed with. How about that?
Okay.
All right. I'm extremely impressed with the fact that, you know, these kind of things typically take years for corporations to roll up that have you know, some boss sitting over everybody, cracking a whip and making it done, and having deadlines and meeting those kind of things. What you guys are doing is you're taking, you know, you guys are developing something, you're putting it out there with instructions, and then you're relying on 10 plus guards initially to get their shit together to be able to spin this stuff up and make it work. You're relying on 30 Ergo watchers and 20 Cardano watchers right now to spin this stuff up and make sure it's right and to get it working. We have enough in the Sigmanauts. We have a hard enough time with our multi-sig wallet trying to get everybody to frickin' sign on time to get a transaction out before somebody's computer reboots and something's wiped or that kind of thing. So that's extremely difficult. So to see Rosen be able to pull this off with how much community excitement is involved in this and how much community want to participate in this kind of decentralized system is just that feat alone is absolutely amazing. I don't think it could be done on any other chain but Ergo, at least.
Okay. Somehow I had one answer that that's what you said, and I should think again. So yeah.
No, just speak off that of what you've experienced with that.
Okay. Yeah. The beauty of it is that I have no control over it. I have. In the tests, during the tests, we had all the guards in our hand in 1 or 2 server, and we had all the logs, and we were debugging the code. When there was a bug, we easily could find it out, and with a patch, and we patched it, and then we saw the result, for example. And now we have a code in Vibe that we have no control over, and we don't know what is happening out there. And we only see the logs are our guard, and it's requires so much maybe confidence and aggressive testing in the past that you can put something out like that. And on top of that, we don't have any control on actually in no aspect of it. So it's a coordinated work from now. And without the help of the guards, the watcher, the community, it was unbelievable for me that after putting out the Watcher app, the community catch the thing, and they are helping each other actually, and we don't have to put a lot of work to troubleshoot the stuff. Sometimes we have to interrupt and do something maybe and elaborate something, but as far as I can see, the flow is going by itself and the community is helping each other. That's the prettiest aspect actually. The other good stuff about Rosen is that, as I said, it's very easy to escape. So while we are launching and it's very stressful, we are planning for other networks, and it would be very easy to add future networks without being terrified about the effect of adding those networks on Ergo's smart contracts on Cardano, because in lots of bridges, when you add a network, you are increasing the complexity of all the networks because their smart contracts are related. We don't have such an issue on Ergo, and it's very amazing for myself actually. And another cool thing is that I'm a security man. I worked my career was actually on security and stuff. So from my point of view, there is no such system that is not unhackable actually. So everything can be hacked. but you should mitigate the damage and prevent and somehow put a lot put hackers in pain. So there should be a lot of financial and technical efforts from them in order to hack. And if you incentivize an unsecure network, even if the network is not secure, but there is no enough incentive in that network to be hacked, I say that network is safe. Okay, so since the Rosen has the cold storage mechanism, there is not much incentive for hackers to hack it, and it's a very good thing and assuring thing about Rosen that if we do it right, the cold storage and the hot storage stuff, even if there is some bug or maybe vulnerability and hack in the future, the scale of the damage will be minimal.
So I see you're going to have a moment of kind of what's it called, hen and the fox kind of race with cold wallet and hot wallet. As the bridge scales up, you'll have to, if you don't want to be going back to all the guards and withdrawing from your cold wallet, very, very often, of course. So as the bridge starts scaling, you may have a small amount to refill once a week or once every couple of weeks, and then perhaps that amount will get larger and maybe more often or less often. So is that how that would look for the guards with the cold wallet transfers? Or is there going to be like set amounts that you inject in, or are you going to follow what's being pulled out essentially, or just wait until a threshold?
Yeah, we should see. Actually, the implementation is that when the funds in the hot wallet excess some threshold, the guards will put the excess amount on the cold wallet.
And is that a percentage of what's been being used recently, or is it going to be because as demand grows on Rosen?
A fixed threshold in their config.
No, I mean the amount that the cold wallets are gonna refill the hot wallets with. Is that a percent of all traffic going through the Rosen Bridge so that you can properly top it off?
So the other way from cold to hot, it's in the hand of guards. So they have to sign it manually, and they have to decide on it manually. Maybe in the future they have some agreement between themselves. I have no control over it. I only one guard maybe. The Rosen has one guard or two guards. Maybe we can find out some optimal ways to manage the stuff, but for now, maybe it's about what is lacking, how much fund we need, and we can charge it, or maybe a bit more. That could be the way that we are going right now, and because it's a manual transaction, so you have to go to your, for example, Ledger or your Minotaur cold wallet and sign a transaction, and this transaction should be generated manually. The code will not generate it. So it's in the hand of guards. In the future, maybe we can find out some optimal ways to charge the hot wallets.
Cool. Very cool. All right. Well, on that, I think we got a lot of information out about Rosen. Hopefully people enjoy tuning in there. But let's jump right to the dev update. It's a short dev update this week, and then we'll close with whatever you want to say after that. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. I'll start off with Luivatra. We have Paideia beta, fixed DAO design, not following on-chain config. Logo, banner, etc. shown on the Paideia website is now taken from on-chain config. Fixed various UI bugs, improved activity log, and made everything linked. Working on Create DAO. Create DAO will work like this. And for those of you who don't know, Paideia beta was released a couple weeks ago, and it's just voting and testing with the current DAO that they have set up. So there's no way for users themselves to make their own DAO at this point. But that's what he's talking about here. So user fills out form with initial DAO config. Transaction is built to store this initial config in any stake pool funds. The needed NFTs to identify singleton UTXOs for the new DAO are minted according to rules enforced by smart contract. The needed contract templates are filled out with the new DAO info and checked by the Paideia origin contract to ensure correctness. The new DAO is created by creating the different singletons. The front end picks up the DAO on chain and confirms the creation, and the database activating the Web 2 part. And for Crux Finance, they enabled positions on the portfolio page. Note burn tokens are not accounted for at the moment, but any other discrepancies you see, feel free to report them on Discord. So that's pretty neat. Crux Finance, the positions on the portfolios, you can go to their page, type in your wallet, and now you can actually see how much money you've lost by providing liquidity to pools, or maybe you've gained and gotten lucky, or that kind of thing. But it's a pretty cool feature of that they're working on at Crux there. I think this one's you, Noob777. Interesting. Or is that a... I'll take that one. You take Kushti afterwards. So Noob7777 looks like created a random number generation proposal for Ergo, and they've thrown the Google document up there for people to check out. Oh, neat. Very neat. All right, Kushti's all you, Sam.
Yeah, that would be very great. I will read that in a few days. And having random number generators on blockchain is not that much easy. We have experienced it on Ergo Raffle, and somehow miners can still influence the result of outcome. The random generator.
What would you use random numbers for in your projects?
Drawing the winner. Selecting
Very cool.
the winner.
Very cool.
Yeah, and in the night owl, they had some issues. They have modified our code in order to have random number generators. But as far as I can see, it's based on commit reveal implementation, so it should be somehow multi-step and interactive, but it would be very cool and useful in a lot of applications.
How do you choose randoms now in your lottery, your raffle?
Um,
Are you rolling dice behind the scene every time, MHS?
Yeah, I'm selecting them manually. Yeah.
You got your little 10d20 Dungeons and Dragon dice.
Yeah. Isn't it weird that I have donated to almost all of the raffles, and not only a small amounts, but I haven't won.
You know, that's a stark change from...
For God's sake, only...
That's a stark change from Coltier, who donated to his first Comet lottery and won the first Comet lottery. So something definitely might be fishy in Comets.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. You got Kushti here.
Okay. Kushti finished big refactoring PR, and you know, Kushti's updates are always big and interesting with lots of information. I'm not sure about the details here because it has been a few weeks. I'm somehow away from the dev updates of others and the progress on Node and Sigma, but it seems that there are some Sigma improvements, Sigma state improvements. And this subblock EIP, considering whether on-chain commitment to subblock is needed, and how to do it in non-invasive to Velvet Forks. Yeah, this subblocks is the hot topic of these days, and
yeah, that's for sure.
Very interesting. I'm not sure if it can help Rosen and the watchers of Rosen. But
right, you still want some good finality there before you commit to sending funds somewhere.
Exactly, but maybe we can use it for the guard stuff in the future somehow. Maybe as a messaging actually layer for guards in order to have more info on the chain and with a higher speed. So something to watch. And as always, Kushti is active in doing documents and videos to educate people. I hope he has more times doing this kind of stuff. Oh, so it seems there are some progress on Dexy contracts. The contracts are deployed on Oracle pools. New testnet voting is proposed, and I guess the new code has been released 2 days ago or 3 days ago
for Oracle Pool. I think they were working on pushing testnet up today or yesterday. I saw them post on chat, hey, should we take this to mainnet? So I think it's ready. I think you're right. Yeah.
And there's no transaction done with the server. There is good progress overall for the server by soysor and contribution. Okay, so it seems some progress on ChainCash, and I think after launching Rosen, I'm still in Rosen stuff. So I think some cool projects, some actually very amazing projects of Ergo, like Oracle tools, ChainCash, Dexy, SigmaUSD will gain some. Their value can be understood by more people because there will be a lot of newcomers to Ergo, and there will be more liquidity on Ergo, and we can see the benefits of SigmaUSD, Dexy Gold, Sigma Gold, and other stuff when the liquidity is much more than what we have now. And regarding ChainCash, it's a really amazing project, and I privately talked about it with some big guys in Turkey. It's some confidential info, but yeah, there could be a very high interest in using ChainCash and some partnerships without promising anything. But there could be some big use case for this great actually piece of tech in the coming future. Okay, I talked a lot.
All right, let's see. Who do we have next? We have LowKeyNerd with BlitzTCG. He says, for Blitz, since it's been a while, created and tested the matchmaking database as well as player metrics. All seems to be working well. 2, nearly done with integrating SkyHarbor onto Blitz website so that players can buy and trade fungible card tokens, aka the cards. That's pretty cool to have SkyHarbor built into, or using the contracts there so you can buy it right in game. 3, working with ErgoPad to get the remaining pack sale and pack opening UI and requirements in place. That's great that he's using ErgoPad. Subblocks will make the pack opening experience more fun for users, but that can also come later. And he says, the plan is to start selling packs the first week of February. That'll be fun. Sam, do you game at all? Do you do any Cyberverse or any... Is that what is that? Xbox or is that a PC controller? That's Xbox.
Xbox, but
are you killing noobs on Call of Duty or something, Sam? What's your game of choice?
Better not to tell, but I'm using my PC with a single, Xbox controller.
Is it something like
it's a fun. I was addicted to games when I was younger, and it kills all of my days. So
it's awful, isn't it?
Completely, I completely avoid that.
Yeah, that's tough. All right, looks like we got Colby Cellador for you.
So Colby had some contribution to ergo-node and ergo-wallet-app. Back and forth with team after ergo code extraction refactoring, PR to make it compile for 2.11 and so on. With the code decoupling. research that Android version could work with 2.30 if each Android 7 support. It would be nice if we have this kind of support for Android. And he talked with RoboVM team. The iOS version is started sadly for now. Okay.
All right, we've got Deathgripson next, who I may say won the Ergo hack, this Ergo hack 7 with Atomic Swap, AnalogErgo. Currently working on UI UX features, swap progress indicator dialog, load links to deployed contracts as they're uploaded or received from a market server, an option to automatically claim above user set minimum value to do, create account and login to account UI functional integration, REST API authentication, key generation for market servers, reloading of ongoing swaps at API level. I think winning the Ergo hack really put a fire under his ass. He even said so in his own chat that he was happy that he won, and he's going to start, really cranking this stuff out, which is really cool. And I think you get the last one right here with soysor, I believe is the last one.
Okay, so on the sigmastate, he addressed PR comments and having look at reversioning discussion related to bull that to byte work, and he had some work on ergo clients, not API client in Rust. Okay, that would be hard. And soysor is great.
So soysor looks like he works on ChainCash, sigmastate, and ergo client, which
is one of the gems in ergo.
Very cool. And he's how many people are working on ChainCash? Do you know? Is it more than Kushti and soysor, or is it just people who dip in and jump in and do that kind of stuff?
There's some more people like Key, I guess, and I'm not sure.
Very cool.
Key and Sanjit, if I'm not mistaken here.
All right,
it's not a small project, actually.
Yeah. Let's just double check to make sure we have everything here. There are no late users. Yes. Okay, I think we got everything then. Let me switch back to this one. Perfect. Well, Sam, I hope you had fun. I know I had fun. This is one of the longer dev updates, but I think it's worth it for people to hear more about Rosen Bridge and have some sort of thing online where they can reference it if they need to. Do you have any? Can I ask when Rosen Bridge?
The good thing is that I have no clue myself.
Well, let me ask you this: how are the how's the code for the guards? The guards are looking healthy, kind of thing. The watchers building up are looking healthy. Any bugs you're working on right now that you need to fix in any of those apps?
Okay, so we have not stopped the implementation and improvement. The team is working on the improvements, and maybe before the exact launch, we push some updates on Watcher and Guard apps. But for now, it seems that the Watcher is working great. It's somehow it seems that it has been easy or not very difficult for people to set it up, and it's a good sign for me and good news. So yeah, the Watcher stuff is going. We should have some time. We will give some time for the community to set up their Watchers. I guess there will be much more Watchers before the launch. And
what's your ideal Watcher count?
There's no ideal threshold, actually. There's no ideal.
So it could launch with 20. It could launch now at 30 Ergo and 20 ADA at work.
Yeah, because of some parameters, we cannot launch with less than 7, I guess, or 6. but there is nothing as the optimal amount of watchers. It's an incentive-based network, and it can move up and down in the future, and we can start with any number. We can start now, actually.
Quick question for you that I just thought of that's been bugging me. What is the advantage? Is there an advantage of somebody spinning up two separate instances of the Watcher app on the same chain, rather than just adding an extra 3,000 to your current Watcher so that it can report more often or can report on more events? Is there a would you recommend one over the other, or is one not even necessary and you wouldn't even know why they do it, kind of thing?
So I'm personally not advocate of running multiple watchers on the same network. And there was a debate in our team that should we put the documentation on how to run multiple watchers. And it's something that the community came up with, and finally I told, I guess, yourself that it was you or CW that had problem with running multiple instances.
Must have been CW.
Yeah, okay. So finally I made the hint, but we didn't put it in the documentation. However, it's possible. We want this network to be as decentralized as possible. So there is no point actually in having multiple watchers by same person for us, but it doesn't hurt. We do not prohibit it or.
So on the technical side, is your permit essentially hung up? Does it work like Dexy Gold where your permit is essentially hung up while it's printing that transaction report? Does it work that way? So if it works that way, then how does having extra Rosen staked with multiple reporting abilities allow you to do that if your permit's being held up in the initial transaction?
I didn't understand the question.
So how does having more? So if every 3,000 Rosen I add to my wallet for the Watcher, I can report more. So let's say I have 10 reports that I can do. So I've locked my initial 30,000 and 800 erg that give me the permit essentially, and then I add 3,000 Rosen each time I want to do an additional report. So let's say I have 30,000 additional Rosen locked up, which will give me 10 reports. How does that? So the main question is: there's no advantage over doing that than there is to spin up an entirely new instance on the same chain. Is it better to pump your Rosen into your single wallet so you can do 50 reports at once, or what's the incentive there? Is what I'm trying to break down.
Okay, it depends. It depends on the loads and the loads of the system, the rate of the events, and the value of them. So there would be some cases that having multiple watcher will benefit you, even if they have only one permit. And there are some cases that you can miss larger value, larger reward by having multiple watcher get a stock because they don't have any more permit to report an incoming very big transaction. So I guess there is no answer for that question. Maybe a moderate one you can distribute. If you have a lot of RSN and you want to put all of them at work, maybe it's worth it to have multiple watchers and each of them have some multiple permits in order to have catch all the events and in order to not getting the stock. The situation when you have there is an event, but you don't have any report. So, but I'm an advocate of having more permits at the first step, and after that, you can, if you have, if you still have enough RSN, why not running another voucher, especially for another network at first. So it's okay. It's very interesting to have one Ergo watcher and one Cardano watcher, because as you said at the beginning, each watcher set benefits from the originating transaction from that network. So who knows, maybe Ergo watcher may gain a lot more than Cardano watchers at the beginning, or maybe the other way. So because nobody knows this stuff, it's a yeah. We should wait and see. And so it could be very helpful to have multiple watcher on different network, then add up to your permits. And if you have still more RSN, launching a new watcher is better than selling those RSN.
But it doesn't help with decentralization. Yeah, so it's...
Yeah. It somehow can help if you use different sources.
Yeah,
for your data as your data source.
Yep, one's on your
You can
local network at
benefit
home,
from
one's on your local network at work, or you have a local one at home or a VPS somewhere in the cloud or that kind of thing.
No, I'm not talking about distribution of those watchers. I'm talking about the data sources of that watchers. You can use Koios, for example.
Right. Block Frost.
Ogmios, for example. Block Frost is for guards. For watchers, we have Koios and Ogmios. And there are lots of options on these two tools. You can run your Koios server. There are a few different Koios providers, also for Ogmios. And you can use your own node with Ogmios as well. On the Ergo side, you can use for now you can use Ergo Explorer, and you can use different nodes.
Yeah.
So if you are launching or setting up different watchers, it's better for you and for the network to have different data sources, because if one of these data sources is faulty or out of sync, or has some issues, or your connection to those data sources has some issues, the other watchers will catch the pace and go forward.
I agree. That's a very important point. And I would say to take it a step further, not only point to different instances in Cardano and Ergo, but also change your location as well. So if you do a virtual cloud-based one, don't do them both in Amazon, don't do them both in whatever cheap service you have. Spread them out. Otherwise, you're doing nothing to support decentralization if you're just copying your config and spinning it up again and duping it. It's just doing it for whatever funds you can get there, which, I mean, but whatever. Yeah, cool. Awesome. All right, MHS. Sam, any closing statements from you? Anything you want to say? Get out to the community.
Yeah. Let me add something about this permit stuff that we talked about. Actually, the word permit is catched by the community, and it's somehow different in our technical documentation from the social nowadays, and it's not a bad thing. The thing is working right now. I'm not here to correct everyone. So, but permit is actually is not a real thing. If I want to say it clearly. Permit is not a real thing. The point is that you have to put some RSN in a stake in order to report something. Okay, and these RSNs will be seized if you report badly and maliciously. Okay, So we call it permit. It's a metaphor actually, and it's a bit in our technical part. It's somehow very complicated, and there are some internal tokens involved, as RWT, for example. So I encourage technical people to dive into the technical part. But from the point of the regular user, you can think about it like permits that you buy permit and it's there and you can report as long as you have permit. It's okay. It's okay. Nothing bad here. But permit is not a real thing. As you can see in your dashboard, you have some locked RSM. Okay, the colors are the same in those boxes, and it's intentionally the same because they're relevant. So say you have 6,000 RSNs as of now locked in the ecosystem as for your watcher, and the system is showing, the watcher app is showing that you have 2 permits. Okay, it means that for reporting each event, you have to use and put 3,000 ergs on a stake. That's simply it. So it's not a package or it's not an NFT or a real thing. So in the future, it might happen that we change this stuff, the requirement actually. So for example, say that we change the parameter V, I mean the guards. Change the permit requirement to be 1,000 instead of the current number of 3,000. You immediately will see in your watcher app that you still have 6,000 RSN logs, but it represents 6 permits.
Yep.
Okay, so it's not a new thing. Nothing has changed in your wallet, nothing has changed in your code, but your watcher app will understand that from now on, when you want to report something, it's enough to put only 1,000 locked RSN in that report. So it should help some people to clarify that.
So are you? Is your code checking? Does this Rosen that's locked up? Is it being sent with each report? So it's 3,000 being sent with each report as I report it for my watcher, or is something just checked and says, "Hey, yes, there's 3,000 locked. He can send this report," kind of thing.
Okay, so as I said, the technical part of it is very complex because there are other tokens involved, and technically we are talking about RW tokens. So RWT is a token completely equal to RSN, but it will be used internally, and it has a 1-to-1 ratio with RSN. And as you can see, when you put RSNs and when you lock RSNs and you receive permits, you don't you don't see any change in your wallets because all of them are in the contracts and all of them are bound into your WID. But it enables, actually, the contracts are enabling the guards to punish and seize the RWTs from those watchers that were very involved in a malicious bad report.
And that's a manual process for the guards to slash the watchers?
No. It's an automated process. It's an automated process, and it will. We have a cleanup service actually that when there is some unsettled trigger event on the network and it's has been there for say 1 month, for example, the cleanup service will capture that and will report that to guards, and there are some stuffs going on there, but at the end, that malicious report that the guards had already know that it's malicious, because if it wasn't malicious, they have did some action regarding the settlement of it, and it should not be there. And because if it's still there, it says it's malicious. And the guards will capture and collect all the RWTs on that, and it will result in actually the involved watchers to lose RWT and lose RSN, and at the end they
and that goes to the guards. That slash goes to the guards.
Yeah, that goes to the guards.
Okay. All right, Sam. I think we could go on for 4 or 5 hours if we don't stop ourselves here. But I think there's a ton of information that people have learned about Rosen, which is fantastic. And I really appreciate you diving in and doing your first dev update. I hope you're not a stranger throughout the year. Maybe we can have you 1 or 2 other times if I can convince you, if this hasn't scared you off enough.
It was very pleasant to be here with you and be in contact with the community, maybe for the first time officially, actually. Yeah.
Yes, fantastic. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Ciao. Ciao, Sam.
Bye-bye. Thank you.